All right, we're about to dive into a story that honestly feels more like a Hollywood script than the history of a sports franchise. It's this incredible tale of explosive success, a really dizzying fall, and now a dramatic attempt at a comeback. I mean, seriously, how does a team go from literally nothing to the very top of their sport in just 24 months? And at the exact same time, build a cultural movement so big, so loud, that it completely shatters records and redefines what a soccer city can even be in America? Well, this is the wild, turbulent story of Atlanta United FC, a club that just burned brighter than any expansion team in history, and then had to figure out how to reignite that flame. So to really get why this team exploded onto the scene, you first have to understand the void that existed before them. See, before 2017, Atlanta was the single largest metro area in the entire US without a Major League Soccer team. You had this massive, sports-crazy city just waiting for a team to get behind. Now, the path to getting that team wasn't a straight line. It was a real journey of persistence. The owner of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank, he first tried way back in 2008, but had to pull the bid when a stadium deal fell through. But the league, they kept their eye on the city. By 2012, the MLS commissioner was calling the market intriguing, and, with plans for a new soccer-friendly stadium finally coming together, the dream became a reality. On April 16, 2014, it was official. Atlanta had its team. And what happened next was, well, it was just completely unprecedented. The club didn't just start playing, it basically launched itself into orbit. The architect behind this meteoric rise was Gerardo Tata Martino. He was hired as the club's very first head coach, and this legendary Argentinian manager brought in this thrilling, high-octane attacking style of play that just took the whole league by storm right from day one. Just look at this trajectory. It's almost impossible to believe. In 2017, their very first season, they became only the third expansion team effort to make the playoffs, and they were already smashing attendance records. But 2018, that was the masterpiece. They finished second in the conference, went all the way and beat the Portland Timbers to win the MLS Cup. And this wasn't just some soccer trophy. No, this win was absolutely monumental for the whole city. It broke this long-standing curse, bringing Atlanta its first major pro sports championship since the Braves won the World Series all the way back in 1995. The city just went wild. And the success didn't even stop there. The MLS Cup was just the start. The very next year, they went and added the US Open Cup and the Campeones Cup to their trophy case. I mean, in just over 2 years, they become this totally dominant force. But, the story on the field is really only half of it. What was happening up in the stands was just as revolutionary. The fans, they became a phenomenon all on their own. The numbers were just staggering. Get this, in July of 2018, a single game drew an attendance of over 72,000 people. They weren't just showing up, they were setting a completely new standard for soccer support in North America, breaking attendance records over and over again. The club's identity really got tangled up in its symbols. They became known as the 5 stripes, with each stripe representing a core value: unity, determination, community, excellence, and innovation. And the fans? They proudly called themselves the 17s, a nod to that magical first season in 2017. It just created this incredible bond between the team and the city. So the heartbeat of this whole movement was this amazing collection of supporter groups. Terminus Legion actually formed years before the team even existed, which just proves that grassroots hunger for soccer. You had Footy Mob infusing Atlanta's legendary hip-hop scene into the stadium vibe, while groups like La 12 de Atlanta and All Stripes made sure the fan base truly reflected the city's incredible diversity. But as we all know, what goes up must come down. After reaching the absolute summit so quickly, the club was about to learn about the price of its own incredible glory. The big turning point came right after that historic MLS Cup win. The architect himself, Tata Martino, left to go manage the Mexican national team. So the man who built the entire identity of the club from scratch was gone. And what came next was just this dizzying coaching carousel. Frank de Boer, he delivered a couple of trophies, but then left quickly. Gabriel Heinz's time ended after a club record winless streak. Gonzalo Pineda was let go after a string of home losses, and Ronnie Dila, he was sacked after leading the team to the worst season in its young history. The instability was just relentless. I mean, the contrast here is just so stark. You've got 2 seasons under Martino with one coach, one clear identity, and the biggest prize in the league. Then, the years after that saw 4 different permanent coaches, constant rebuilds, and a slide that hit rock bottom with the worst finish in club history. And that brings us to today. After that cool-down period, the club hit a dramatic reset button, which raises this huge question. Can the glory of the past actually become the blueprint for the future? So the rebuild kicked off in the summer of 2024. The club sold off its star players for this massive war chest of over $50 million. But that was immediately followed by a disastrous 2025 season. And then, the bombshell. On November 6th, 2025, in a move that absolutely shocked the league, the original architect, Tata Martino, came back. It really brings the whole story full circle. Remember what owner Arthur Blank said about his original vision? Red and black with gold. He said that gold symbolized a commitment to excellence. Well, that commitment is being tested now more than ever. And so this is the question that just hangs over Atlanta. The man who built this supernova from absolutely nothing is back. But this time, it's with a new team, in a different league, and with the heavy weight of his own legendary past on his shoulders. Can the architect of the dream actually rebuild it? Only time is going to tell.